Behind every person filled with hopes and dreams, there's a heart that learns to pause, that knows the journey isn't only about racing toward goals, but also about stopping along the way to breathe, to gather strength, and to find joy in the quiet moments. These pauses, these silent spaces in between our ambitions, give life a depth that constant striving never could. They teach us that it's okay to rest, that we don't need to push every second of every day to feel accomplished. There's a beautiful kind of wisdom in learning to wait, to embrace the stillness and trust that life unfolds at its own pace. Sometimes we realize that we're on a path where the destination isn't even clear yet, but we walk it anyway, guided only by faith that wherever it leads will hold meaning. I've found myself reflecting a lot on my own journey lately. It's like being on a road where you can see only a few steps ahead, no matter how far you try to look. And so, step by step, we go forward. We weigh our choices, we imagine all the things we could be, and we spend hours, sometimes days, analyzing the paths that lie before us. It's as if by studying each possibility, we might somehow reveal the mysteries of our own future. But in this deep contemplation, there's always a truth that quietly makes itself known. No matter how many answers we search for, we'll never fully control what life brings. Problems will appear, sometimes in forms we couldn't even predict, and no matter how much we try to prepare, we're still surprised. It's humbling, isn't it? This realization that as much as we plan, life always has the final say. But these pauses, these moments of stillness and contemplation, are not in vain. They're reminders that not every problem needs a solution, and not every question needs an answer. Life isn't a riddle we're meant to solve completely. It's more like a story unfolding, with twists and turns that we don't always understand. There's wisdom in learning to sit with that uncertainty, in realizing that some parts of life are meant to be felt rather than solved. We may never fully understand why certain things happen, why some dreams fade, or why certain chapters in our life come to an end. And that's okay. Not knowing everything gives life its beauty, its mystery, and its magic. There's a phrase that comes to mind often. It is what it is. At first, it may seem simple or even dismissive, but when you let it settle, you begin to feel the calm that comes with it. There's a profound peace in accepting that life moves in ways we can't control, that some things simply are. Accepting things as they are isn't about surrendering our dreams or giving up. It's about allowing ourselves to breathe within the space we find ourselves in, without resistance. We can continue to dream, to aspire, and to hope for the best, but with the understanding that life is a mix of control and surrender, of planning and letting go. When things don't go as planned, there's often a rush of frustration, an urge to fix everything, to make reality align with our expectations. It's easy to feel like we're falling short when life doesn't match up with what we envisioned. But it's in these moments that we're given a gift, a quiet opportunity to practice patience, resilience, and trust. Sometimes we might have to pause our dreams, not because we aren't capable, but because life asks us to wait. These pauses aren't failures. They're invitations to grow in ways we wouldn't have if everything had gone smoothly. It's a humbling thing to realize that while we can work hard and give our best, life's timing isn't always in our control. Sometimes we're forced to step back, to take a breath, and to find peace with where we are, even if it's not where we hoped to be. The moment we let go of the need to make everything perfect, we open ourselves to a softer, more accepting way of living. The beauty of life often reveals itself in these pauses, in the spaces where we're simply learning to be, without needing to understand or control every outcome. And when one door closes, sometimes another opens in a way we could never have expected. Life has a way of surprising us, of presenting new opportunities just when we think we're out of options. Each experience we go through, each pause we take, shapes us in ways we may not even realize. They add layers to who we are, making us stronger, more resilient, and more capable of facing whatever comes next. But embracing these experiences honestly takes courage. It means facing moments of uncertainty, times when we don't know what's ahead or what the purpose of it all might be. It's not easy to face challenges with grace. In those moments of struggle, when things feel especially heavy, it's natural to wonder why we're going through it. Why did things turn out this way? Why did I lose this opportunity, this relationship, this moment that I thought was mine? There are times when I ask myself these questions, looking for answers that don't seem to come. And yet, with time, I find myself moving toward acceptance, recognizing that I've done my best and that the rest is up to a greater force, something beyond my control. It's as if life is teaching me, over and over, that sometimes the greatest peace comes from simply letting go. Failure, heartbreak, and disappointment, they're all part of the journey. They're like lessons written into the fabric of our lives, reminders that we're human, that we're growing, that we're trying. The fact that we dared to pursue something, to reach out, to love, to hope, that alone is enough. Even if our journey takes us somewhere unexpected, the act of trying gives our lives meaning. And in that effort, in that reaching, we discover parts of ourselves we didn't know existed. We're often our own harshest critics, holding ourselves to impossible standards, expecting every choice to lead to success, every effort to be rewarded. But life doesn't work that way, and expecting it to only leaves us feeling disappointed. The more I reflect, the more I realize that regret has no place in a life that's fully lived. We shouldn't blame ourselves for every twist, every setback. Instead, we can allow ourselves to feel the sadness, the frustration, the disappointment, because only by feeling can we move forward, wiser and more prepared for the next step. Letting go of what we can't control is like releasing a weight from our hearts. The tighter we hold on, the heavier it feels. When we release that grip, we open ourselves up to live without judgment or resentment. It's a freeing thing, to allow life to unfold as it will, to trust that if something is meant to happen, it will. This acceptance brings an incredible sense of peace, allowing us to focus on the things that truly matter, to appreciate what we already have, and to look forward with hope. Gratitude becomes a quiet force that anchors us. In every moment, even in the toughest times, there's something to be grateful for. It could be a lesson, a person, a small moment of joy, or simply the fact that we're here, breathing, experiencing life. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's missing to what's present, and with that shift, we begin to see the beauty all around us. We find reasons to smile, even when things don't go as planned. We discover joy in the small things, in the laughter of a friend, in a quiet morning, in the sound of the rain. There's a certain calm that comes with recognizing that we don't need to have everything figured out. Life is always changing, always moving, and the only constant is our ability to respond with grace. By letting go of what we can't control and choosing to focus on what's in front of us, we allow ourselves to experience each moment fully, without needing to change it or make it fit a mold. This is the gift of acceptance, the peace that comes from simply being. Life has a way of guiding us, often in directions we never planned or expected. When we set out with dreams and goals, we imagine a straightforward path, one where our efforts will yield the results we desire. But life has its own rhythm, its own wisdom, and often that rhythm includes moments of unexpected change, challenges, and even loss. These shifts, though they may feel frustrating or disappointing, can be gentle nudges from life, urging us to look beyond the surface, to explore what truly matters, and to discover our resilience and strength. There have been times when I found myself wondering why things had to be so challenging. I'd pour my heart and soul into something, fully expecting a certain outcome, only to find doors closing or opportunities slipping away. In those moments, it's natural to want answers, to understand why things happened the way they did. I'd ask myself countless questions. Why didn't this work out? What did I do wrong? Why didn't things align with my effort and intentions? But as I searched for answers, I often found that they remained elusive, like trying to grasp water in my hands. Over time, I learned that some questions don't have clear answers, and that's okay. Sometimes, things simply don't go our way, and the reasons may not be for us to know or understand right now. In learning to accept life's twists and turns without always demanding explanations, I began to find a deeper sense of peace. This doesn't mean we stop trying or dreaming, but rather that we learn to release the need to understand or control everything. There's a beauty in surrendering to life's flow, allowing ourselves to be present, even when things don't make perfect sense. Life has a rhythm all its own, and by moving with it, rather than against it, we discover a new way of experiencing the world. This doesn't come easily. It's a practice, a skill that grows over time as we let go of the need to have it all figured out. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It's more like loosening our grip on expectations. There are times when we push so hard, determined to reach a particular outcome, that we forget to pause and breathe. We can get so caught up in striving that we lose sight of what's around us, of the beauty and blessings we already hold. By letting go of our desire to control every outcome, we allow life to surprise us in ways we couldn't have imagined. Sometimes, when we're so focused on one thing, we miss the quiet miracles happening all around us. Letting go invites us to step back and appreciate what's here now, rather than always yearning for what we think we need. This isn't an easy practice, and it's one that I still remind myself of often. Letting go of expectations, especially when they're tied to something we deeply desire, can feel like a loss. But it's not about giving up on our dreams. It's about trusting that if something is meant for us, it will come. And if not, then there is something else out there, waiting to reveal itself. Letting go is about having faith that we are exactly where we need to be, even if it doesn't look like the place we envisioned. And as we learn to let go, we often find a new sense of peace, filling the spaces once occupied by worry or fear. It's like clearing out a room in our heart to make space for gratitude, for calm, for acceptance. In those moments when we embrace life's unpredictability, we start to see everything as part of a greater journey. The things that didn't work out were not failures, but steps along the path, lessons that shape us, moments that strengthen us. One of the most transformative aspects of this journey is learning to be grateful. Gratitude is a quiet, steady force that can bring us back to the present, helping us see the richness of life, even in its challenges. When we look around and choose to appreciate what we already have, we shift our perspective from one of lack to one of abundance. This doesn't mean ignoring our dreams or settling for less, but rather finding joy in the here and now. recognizing that every breath, every sunrise, every moment of kindness is a gift. I've found that gratitude has a way of softening even the hardest of days. When we take a moment to appreciate something as simple as a warm meal, a friend's smile, or even a quiet moment alone, we reconnect with life's gentle beauty. Gratitude isn't just about big achievements. It's about finding meaning in the little things, the daily moments that often go unnoticed. By choosing to be grateful, we open ourselves to a new way of seeing the world, one where even the smallest blessings are acknowledged and celebrated. There are times when life feels especially hard, when challenges seem to pile up one after another. In those moments, gratitude may feel like the last thing on our minds. But it's precisely in those times that gratitude has the power to shift our perspective, to remind us that even amidst difficulty, there is still beauty. There are still reasons to smile. It doesn't mean we ignore the hardships. It simply means we give ourselves the gift of seeing beyond them, of recognizing the light, even in dark moments. By practicing gratitude, we find strength we didn't know we had. It becomes a lifeline, something we can return to again and again, to remind ourselves of the goodness in our lives. It helps us remember that no matter how hard things may seem, there is always something to be thankful for. This simple act of choosing gratitude is a quiet resilience, a reminder that life's beauty isn't diminished by its challenges. It's about seeing the whole picture, the ups and downs, the joys and sorrows, and realizing that together they create a life rich with meaning. With this newfound peace, we're able to embrace life with a softer heart, one that is open to whatever comes. By choosing to let go of the things we can't control and focusing on what we can, we create a space within ourselves for joy, for contentment, and for acceptance. This doesn't mean we'll never feel sadness or frustration again, but rather that we'll have a place to return to, a perspective that helps us move through life with greater ease and understanding. Life, in all its complexity, offers us so much. Each day, each experience, each interaction is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to appreciate. We don't have to have everything figured out to feel at peace. By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, our gratitude, we discover that true contentment isn't found in the destination, but in the journey itself. We find joy not by having everything we desire, but by loving what we already have. As we continue to grow, we realize that life's gifts are found in the small things: a kind word, a gentle breeze, the warmth of the sun on our face. These moments, though often overlooked, hold a power all their own. They remind us that happiness isn't a distant goal. It's something we can touch every day, in the ordinary moments that make up our lives. By embracing gratitude, by choosing to see the good, even when it's hidden beneath layers of hardship, we create a foundation of joy that no challenge can shake. This is the beauty of life, that even in its hardest moments, there is something worth cherishing, something that brings us back to what truly matters. In the journey of life, patience becomes one of our most powerful allies. When things don't go as planned, or when our path takes unexpected turns, patience offers us a calm strength, a reminder to breathe and trust in timing beyond our own. The world around us often emphasizes speed, accomplishment, and achievement, pushing us to chase after our dreams with urgency. But real growth, the kind that changes us deeply, often requires a gentler, slower pace. It asks us to hold on through the storms, to keep faith in our destination, even when we can't see it clearly. Patience teaches us that not everything we desire will come on our timeline, that sometimes we need to wait, not as a passive act, but as a way of nurturing our dreams with care. In those moments of waiting, when nothing seems to be happening, patience is quietly at work. It's in these spaces of stillness that we learn the most about ourselves, our resilience, our ability to sit with uncertainty, our strength to keep hoping. Patience doesn't mean we stop wanting or striving. It means we learn to trust that life has its own rhythm, its own natural flow. Just like a river, moving at its own pace, finding its way over rocks and around obstacles, we too can move forward, trusting that each moment has its purpose, even if it's not immediately clear to us. It's easy to become restless, to feel that if we're not constantly achieving, we're somehow falling behind. But life isn't a race. It's a journey that unfolds in ways we may never fully understand, and each delay, each pause, is an invitation to look within, to grow in ways we might not have expected. Patience allows us to let go of the need to rush, to embrace the journey as it is, and to believe that even if things aren't moving as quickly as we'd like, they're still moving. Every day, every step we take brings us closer to where we're meant to be, and in those quiet moments, we find a peace that doesn't depend on reaching the destination. Patience is also about resilience. It's about finding the strength to stay hopeful, even when things are tough, when progress feels slow, or when we encounter setbacks. Life has its highs and lows, and sometimes the journey feels harder than we expected. But patience reminds us that we are stronger than we think, that we have the capacity to endure, to adapt, and to find beauty in the process. It's in these moments of endurance that we truly discover our own courage. Each challenge we face, each time we choose to keep going despite the obstacles, we build a resilience that carries us forward. Through patience, we also learn compassion for ourselves and for others. We begin to understand that everyone is on their own journey, facing their own struggles and delays. It becomes easier to forgive, to let go of resentment, to recognize that life's timing isn't something we can control. Patience helps us release the weight of anger or frustration, allowing us to move forward with a lighter heart. This gentle acceptance brings a new kind of strength, one that isn't forceful or aggressive, but quiet, steady, and enduring. It's a reminder that true power comes not from control, but from grace. When we embrace patience, we also open ourselves to the possibility of unexpected joys. Often, the things we wait the longest for are the ones that bring the most fulfillment. There's a sweetness in finally reaching a goal, in seeing a dream come true after all the waiting and wondering. Patience teaches us that the journey itself is just as valuable as the destination, that each moment, each small step, is a piece of the larger picture. And as we look back, we realize that every pause, every delay, every obstacle was a part of our growth, shaping us into the person we were meant to become. As we continue on this journey, patience also leads us to acceptance. Life is full of surprises, and no matter how carefully we plan, there will always be things beyond our control. Acceptance isn't about giving up. It's about finding peace with what is, about understanding that life is as it should be in this moment. It's the realization that some things are simply meant to happen, while others are meant to pass us by. When we accept this, we open ourselves to a calm that goes beyond words, a gentle knowing that life has a wisdom of its own. Acceptance doesn't mean we stop dreaming or striving. It means we release the need to control every detail. It's about learning to be present, to live fully in each moment, without constantly wishing things were different. There's a beautiful freedom in this surrender, in letting go of the need to change everything. When we accept life as it is, we make room for new experiences, new possibilities, and new joys. We stop resisting and start flowing, allowing life to guide us in its own way. In acceptance, we find a deeper level of peace, one that isn't dependent on circumstances. Life may not always look the way we imagined, but that doesn't mean it's any less beautiful. When we let go of expectations, we free ourselves to see life's beauty in all its forms, to find joy in the simple moments, to appreciate the journey itself. Acceptance teaches us that happiness doesn't come from perfection. It comes from our willingness to embrace life as it is, with all its imperfections. Sometimes we have to let go of our plans and expectations to make room for what life has in store. Acceptance is about trusting that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even when we can't see the bigger picture. It's a reminder that our worth isn't defined by achievements or outcomes, but by our ability to live with grace, to love, and to find meaning in each day. Acceptance brings a quiet strength, a sense of wholeness that doesn't depend on external success or approval. It's a strength that comes from within, a calm assurance that no matter what happens, we have the power to navigate through it. By choosing acceptance, we also learn to forgive ourselves. We let go of regrets, of the what-ifs and if-onlys that hold us back. We understand that we did the best we could with the knowledge and resources we had at the time. This self-forgiveness frees us from the weight of the past, allowing us to move forward with an open heart. Acceptance is a gift we give to ourselves, a way of saying, I am enough, just as I am. In learning to accept life, we also learn to embrace its impermanence. Everything in life is temporary. Our emotions, our experiences, our successes, and our failures. By accepting this, we learn to appreciate each moment without clinging to it. We begin to see life not as something to be conquered, but as something to be cherished. Acceptance teaches us to live fully in the present, to appreciate the beauty of each fleeting moment, to find meaning in the journey, even if we don't have all the answers. As we practice acceptance, we find a gentle peace that isn't easily shaken. It's a peace that comes from within, a quiet knowing that we can handle whatever life brings. This peace allows us to let go of the need to constantly change or improve everything, to simply be with life as it is. It's a calm that reminds us that we are enough, that we don't need to prove our worth or chase after perfection. By accepting ourselves, our journey, and the world around us, we create a space for true happiness, one that isn't dependent on circumstances. Life will always have its ups and downs, its joys and sorrows. Acceptance teaches us to find balance, to ride the waves of life with grace, knowing that each moment, whether joyful or challenging, is a part of our journey. We learn to see beauty in every experience, to find strength in every challenge, to appreciate every joy, however small. And in doing so, we create a life filled with meaning, purpose, and peace. Acceptance, like patience, is a practice, one that we return to again and again. It's a gentle reminder that life is enough, that we are enough, that every moment holds something valuable if we choose to see it. With each step, each breath, we let go of the need to control, to change, to force, and we open ourselves to the simple beauty of being here, of living fully, of loving deeply, and of trusting that everything is as it should be. Through patience and acceptance, we find the strength to navigate life with a heart full of gratitude, a mind at peace, and a spirit that embraces all that life has to offer. Thank you for being here, for sharing this space with me. I hope these reflections bring you a sense of comfort and inspiration. As always, I wish you a beautiful day, filled with gratitude, peace, and the courage to embrace each moment fully.